Himali, could you confirm if you could see my screen?
Yes, it's visible.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much, Himali, for arranging this, and thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. Today, we are going to talk about KEDGE Business School application program, scholarship opportunities, placements, life at KEDGE in France in general in details. And as you already heard, the applications resume in 2 days from now. So today is Thursday, then Friday, and of course, Monday, we resume operations for 2024. So starting with the presentation, higher education and career opportunities in France. Why? Because this is the most important part when it comes to Indian or international students. Career opportunities in France. So first of all, we need to understand why France. These are certain reasons why France could be an interesting opportunity. So a quarter of the uh, Financial Times top 100 business schools are French. Close to 2,000 programs are taught in English. Top destination for management and research. Longest visa to Indian students who are studying in France. So France offers the longest stay back visa to Indian students, and there's no other country that comes close. I will explain that in details during the Q&A. So please make sure to ask this question during the Q&A. Your visa allows you to travel to 26 European countries under Schengen. I'm not sure if you saw yesterday, European Union announced that Bulgaria and Romania are now also going to be part of Schengen. So altogether, 28 countries, visa free, very low tuition compared to top five destinations like US, UK, Canada, Singapore, Australia. Compared to all of them, France has lowest tuition, lowest cost of living, and obviously the wages are high, so the return on investment is high. So that's why France could be an interesting opportunity for Indian students. Now let's talk about more reasons if you or your students may not be convinced with these reasons. Number one, top tourism destination, top food gastronomy destination, number one for UNESCO World Heritage Sites, opportunity to learn a foreign language, third fastest train in the world, top destination for fashion, human rights, beaches, um, top destination for management, engineering, manufacturing, sports, and aviation. I'm sure all of you have heard of Airbus, which is very close to KEDGE, Marseille, and Bordeaux campuses. Now let's talk about why KEDGE, largest French business school, triple accredited with ACSB, AMBA, and EQUIS, top ranked Grande École, largest alumni network of 80,000 international students, 126 million euros granted to our students in entrepreneurship funding. So if your students want to create their own business in France, let's say they want to open a restaurant, create a company, or work on any project, they can do that with the help of KEDGE entrepreneurship. 4 campuses in France, 8 globally. 16 of our programs are funded by Prodigy Finance, which means if you have an offer letter from KEDGE, you get a loan in 48 hours without any guarantor or a collateral or even a credit score. 300 partner companies connect with KEDGE in terms of industrial connect. So students would have ample amount of opportunities to apply for internships or jobs. One of the highest return on investment. All programs offer stay back visa. This is the most important part. A lot of universities in France may not offer the stay back visa. So this is a misconception that when you study in France, you get the 2 year stay back visa. Your 2 year stay back visa does not depend on France. It depends on the program if it is accredited by the state. And the good thing is all master's programs at KEDGE are accredited by the state. So regardless of the program you're going to study at KEDGE, you would be getting 2 years stay back visa. We have 5 centers of excellence. So marketing, wine, hospitality, sustainability, supply chain, international business, and 4 centers of expertise, which is healthcare, innovation, creative industries, sustainable finance, and entrepreneurship. There are some stats which could be interesting to use. 38 management programs, 15,000 students, a quarter of them are international, 300 business partners, 301 university partners, 80,000 alumni. If I talk about university partners from India, we partner with IIM Bangalore, Lucknow, Kozhikode, Indore, Udaipur, Amritsar, SP Jain, XLRI. These are some of our university partners for exchange programs and dual degrees in India. These are the four campuses I mentioned. We have campuses in Bordeaux, Marseille, Paris, and Toulon. These are the four international campuses. We have two in Africa and two in China. These are the different programs that we have. So we have MIM, which almost all the business schools in France have, Masters in Management. Then we have two undergrad programs, KEDGE Bachelor and International BBA. The good thing about our undergrad programs is that there are two entries, entry in year 1 and entry in year 3. So let's say if a student has completed class 12th, they can apply for 3-year KEDGE Bachelor or 4-year BBA. But if somebody is already in 2 years, second year of undergrad, they can also apply for third year undergrad at KEDGE Bachelor or International BBA. Then we have MSc programs, which are specialized masters. And these are the programs that we have. So arts, audit, banking, sustainability, corporate finance, data analytics, digital marketing, international business, trade and logistics, supply chain, purchasing, marketing, wine and spirits, sports, sustainable finance, wine and hospitality. Application process, as I'm sure you already know, but let me just explain it to you. So you can apply completely online. There is no separate form. Just go to the website of KEDGE and apply. And documents required would be CV, passport, highest degree or diploma, most recent mark sheets, English test for MIM and IBBA 3. For other programs, medium of instruction letter from college is enough, and a school certificate if the student is still studying in school. Only these documents are required, no other document is required, and students can go ahead, submit their application, and then they would have their interview. After the interview, they would get the result. To submit the application, there is an application fees of 10,000 rupees, 120 euros. But as you know, all students coming from JIC and associates would benefit from an application fee waiver. In terms of jobs, KEDGE has one of the highest employment rate, which is around 95% within 4 months. So the average salaries at KEDGE are roughly around 43,000 euro. It varies from program to program. Some programs have 35,000 euro, some programs have 49,000 euro. So the average is 43,000 euro. 95% of our students get jobs even before graduation, and almost 100% get job within 6 months of graduation. How do we help students who come to us for jobs? So we, from the very first semester, we help them in personality development, in learning French, interacting in English with peers, experiential learning in terms of internships, proacts. Proacts are basically projects given by different companies coming onto the campus to a group of students. We help them in coaching, experience sharing. We have an extensive alumni network, as you already know, the largest alumni network in France that also offers jobs to our students. And then, of course, we have different training research organizations that conduct trainings for our students on campus. Entrepreneurship, as I said, if your students want to create their business in France, they don't have to go for jobs. They can directly do that with the help of KEDGE Entrepreneurship on campus. So they would have KEDGE incubator support where they can create their own company, accelerate the idea. And if they are interested in raising funding on campus, they can also do that. In terms of awards and recognitions, as you can see, Financial Times, QS Shanghai, Ed Universal, and all the French rankings, KEDGE is always there in top 10 rankings in France, top 40 in Europe. In fact, this year, KEDGE was ranked 29th best business school in entire Europe. These are the three most prestigious accreditations I talked about: EFMD, which is AQUIS, AMBA, ASCSB, three prestigious accreditations. KEDGE is among the 1% of the schools in the world which have triple accreditation. And this is the most important one in terms of stay back visa, which is called Conference de Grande École. If any program is accredited by CGE, they would get the 2-year stay back visa. If the program is not accredited by CGE, there will be no stay back visa. In terms of famous alumni, these are some of the famous alumni that we have. Of course, we have 80,000, so we have thousands of alumni who are famous, but some of the most prominent ones. So CEOs of Morgan Stanley, Football Associations, Olympic Committee Chairman and President Director for Paris 2024, Vice President IBM, former Chief Executive Officer, London Stock Exchange, world's best female chef. All of these are graduates of KEDGE programs. Some of the students who are now alums from South Asia. So Saurabh is working with international, Louis Vuitton. He is a student of international business. Deepak studied supply chain, works with Schneider. Aboli studied sustainable finance, works with La Banque Postale, which is like the national postal service. And then Shehzad, student of sports and event management, working with European Cricket Council. We have an extensive team based across the globe, so 10 team members based across different continents. And for South Asia, you have myself. So if you have any queries, questions, you can reach out to me. These are the details of South Asia office. So you can reach out to me at this email ID. And of course, you can WhatsApp me or call me at any point in time. To submit the applications, of course, you can reach out to the team of JIC, and JIC team would be assisting you. They've been very supportive in past many years of working directly with KEDGE, and we haven't faced any issues, so far, and I'm sure there would be no issues in future as well. So if you have any queries, questions, of course, you can reach out to me. In terms of applications, you can reach out to Himalayan team, and then of course we'll be supporting you in submitting your applications. Now, let me quickly take you to the website. If Himali, you could confirm if you can see the website.
Yes, Prayag.
All right, thank you. So not more than 5 minutes to go. So this is the KEDGE website, very simple to use. You simply go to program, and then of course you'll be looking at all the programs which I just showed you. Let me click on few of them. So you click on MIM, you'll find the ranking here, 5th best in France. Campus information here, Bordeaux and Marseille. Students can choose if they want to study in Marseille or Bordeaux, and degree, name, format, intake, and language. Just to remind you, we only have one intake, which is September. Applications are already open. All the programs are in English, and all students learn French free of cost. In terms of admission and funding, our programs are 2-year. MIM is always 2-year in France, wherever you want to study, and it's 15,000 euros per year. If students want to go for dual degree, that means they combine MSc with MIM, they can do that. However, the tuition fee will increase by 2,500 euro for MSc. For MIM, it would remain same. For MSc, it would increase by 2,500. Scholarship. The first scholarship is early bird. If you apply before February 29, you get 5% scholarship automatically. Then, if you write a beautiful essay in the application portal, you have very high academics and you perform exceedingly well in interview, you may again get 5 or 10%. So altogether, up to 15% of scholarship for all the students. If you click on career, you would be able to find job opportunities, salaries, percentage of the people placed, and companies that come for recruitment. So you have Accenture, Airbus, Amazon, E&Y, Deloitte, Decathlon, Louis Vuitton, L'Oreal, all these companies, they come for recruitment. Now let me take you to MSc program. So let me click on two of them. I'll click on one of them, which is international business. You'll find ranking here. Courses, campuses, Bordeaux, Marseille, Paris. Format full-time, intake September, language English. If you click on admission and funding, 1-year program is 17,400 euros. 2-year program is 17,400 euros plus 9,500 euros. So there are two kinds of masters in France, 1-year master and 2-year master. As you can see, 1-year master is called Master of Science, 2-year master is called Master of Science plus a pathway, which is also known as long track. Now, who's eligible for who? So if you have a 4-year degree or more than 5 years of experience, you are directly eligible for short track 1-year program, and you would only pay this. If you have a 3-year degree and less than 5 years of experience, then you would go for long track, which means you will study a 1 year pathway and 1 year MSc. So altogether 2 years. But the tuition fee for first year would be minimal. Scholarships would be absolutely same as I explained, early bird until February 29, and then up to 10% scholarship. If you click on career opportunities, you'll find job opportunities, different positions, sectors, locations, and companies which come for recruitment. Average salaries are mentioned here. Similarly, I can click on one more program. Let me click on sports. So this is the ranking, campus program, name of degree, format, intake, language. If you click on admission and funding, same process. If you have a 4 year degree or more than 5 years experience, you're eligible for 1 year program. If you have a 3 year degree and less than 5 years of experience, you're eligible for 2 year program. Scholarships would be absolutely same. Career opportunities are mentioned here. So you can work in these sectors: sports marketing agencies, international federations, major sporting events, occupations, companies, salaries. 90% students find a job within 6 months of graduation. So simply by clicking on overview, careers, admission, funding, you'll find all these details. If you click on testimonials, you'll find student reviews. And if you click on curriculum, you'll find all the subjects that are taught in every course. Semester 1, semester 2. A couple of important points for you. All programs at KEDGE include 6 months paid internship. This is assisted by KEDGE Business School. And at the same time, students find internship on their own too. Every program would have a dissertation, which is a thesis. Students have to do it at the same time when they're doing a 6 months internship. This is done in their second year. Every program would have a study trip. So they would go to different cities or countries depending on the year. So for example, this year, wine students would go to South Africa to taste wine and study wine, how it's being made in the African continent. And all of that is going to be included in the tuition fee. So for internships, dissertations, study trips, company projects, seminars, webinars, exams, there is no extra cost. Everything is included in the cost of tuition. So overall, if you look at the cost of tuition, it's one of the lowest in France. 17,400 euros is one of the lowest for top 10 business schools, and especially for somebody which is who is studying at number 2 and number 3 ranked schools in France. So low tuition, stay back visa for all the programs. All the programs are recognized by government of France. All the programs ranked among top 100 rankings in the world and top 10 in France. And September intake. Some of the USPs about KEDGE. I think this is it. There are many programs. I can click on all of them, but again, it's very simple to do. So I can share this website link with you, or you can just simply Google KEDGE Business School, student.kedge.edu. And by clicking on program, you can find information related to any program. So that is it. Now let's go to Q&A. If you have questions, doubts, I would be very happy to take those questions.
So can you just inform about the initial deposits for all the programs?
Yeah, initial deposit for all the programs is 2,000 euros.
Okay, and any accommodation options which KEDGE provides, any partnerships which student can book it during visa?
Yeah. In fact, let me share my screen again. I hope you can see my screen. So
Yes.
once the students get admitted, let's say one student applied and today he got admitted, they would receive this email. This is the registration process. Okay. So they would receive this email within 48 hours. They would receive a website, login ID, password to complete their registration, deposit, and housing. This will also have housing information, as you can see here. So step 1 would be they would be filling this form. Step 2, they would be uploading their passport. Step 3, they would be choosing their payment terms. Do they want to pay by credit card or funds transfer? Step 4, they would be entering their address, email ID, phone number, basic details. Step 5, validate. Step 6, you have to pay the deposit, and this is the detail. You have to go on Flywire website, and then you have to pay the deposit. You can pay your deposit in many ways. I can show it to you right after this. For example, let's click on this edge.flywire.com. This is how it looks like. You select your country, India. Just a second. And then you mention 2000 euros, and then you click on next. And as you can see, you can pay by net banking, you can pay by bank transfer, you can pay by Visa credit or debit card, you can pay by Diners RuPay credit card, you can pay by Master's credit card. So there are multiple options how students can pay deposit. Once they do that, they would receive a contract, and they would have to sign that contract using DocuSign. So that would be contract image rights, and they sign that, and then of course their uh, registration with KEDGE Business School is done. Then of course, as I showed you on the very first step, housing, they would be assisted by our team on this platform, housing.kedge.edu. And our housing options are more than 1,000 in number. And it's not like Canada where students have to live 5 people in one room. No, we only have two options. Either students have single studio, or they have a double sharing studio. There is no room or flat where students have to live together for more than 2 people, right? So students can choose if they want to live alone or if they want to live in a sharing option, and all of them are across the city, so not very far. Students would have two options. Either they can live very close to the campus. For example, in Marseille and Bordeaux, we have housing options 5 minutes walk from the campus, and the second option would be living downtown, which is in city center. So the students can choose and book the housing for themselves. And we have an upcoming webinar for housing in March, because right now the housing options would be closed. If you apply for housing right now, you'll be getting housing in February and March. Nobody will open their house for renting 8 months in advance. So we recommend people to apply for housing in March or April, and that is when our housing team would conduct 2 or 3 webinars every month, and we would invite all the students who have been admitted to apply for housing. And then of course, they would have to pay the deposit to housing, they would get the contract, and once they get the contract, they can apply for a visa, and visa applications open in May. So March and April is the right time to apply for housing. So that is how students can register, complete their entire registration process. The entire registration would only take 30 minutes to fill the form, pay the deposit, and housing would start in March anyway, as I mentioned. I think we can go to questions. We have a question from Deepika who says, can you explain about gap and backlogs? Yes, if a student has a gap, they can write a cover letter why they have a gap, and it's absolutely fine. They can apply not only to KEDGE, but also for visa process with the gap letter. Regarding the backlogs, we don't have any problem with the backlogs. If a student has a backlog and they are in final year or they have already graduated, they can still apply, but there is no problem in terms of backlogs. Shanaz says intake details, please. Shanaz, we only have one intake at the moment in 2024, which is September. Next year, we might have two, but right now in 2024, we only have one intake, that is September. Now, Nivya says, what can we do if a student complete the registration but still not receive login credentials from school? Nivya, it's automated. So the system automatically sends the login credentials in 48 hours. But if the student has still not received it, first of all, ask them to check their emails, check their spams. And if they have not received anything, simply contact me and I will contact the IT team at KEDGE to check what is the issue. Aji says, in case of visa rejection, security deposit is deposit refund or not. Yes, Aji, in case of visa rejection, security deposit as 100% refundable. And I think all the schools do that. But I'm not sure about other schools. KEDGE 100% does that. Anjum says, if possible, can you share the presentation? Yes, Anjum, I'll share the presentation with Himali after this, and you can get the recording and presentation from Himali. Aishwarya says, no, Usha says, maximum years of gap in education from last pursuit to proposed master's. Usha, there is no minimum or maximum gap specified by KEDGE or Embassy of France. Lower the gap, better it is. If somebody has no gap, it's the best case. If somebody has 1 year gap, still fine. 2 years gap, not a problem. 10 years gap, of course, a problem. So lower the gap, better it is. But as I said, to talk about the gap, you need to write a cover letter on an A4 paper why you had that gap, what did you do during that gap, and what did you learn. So you need to mention all those kind of things. Shanaz says, when can we expect the application deadline for September intake? Shanaz, the applications are already open, and the deadline is February 29 for early bird and around June or July for the applications. Ashwarya says, in bachelor's, is there any option of 3 year entry for diploma holders? Yes, if you have a 2 year undergrad or if you're studying in second year of undergrad, only then you are eligible to apply for third year bachelor's entry. Can we get this webinar recorded? I think this has already been recorded by the GIC team.
Yes,
So
Prayag, we share the
perfect,
recording to the associates.
perfect. Thanks, Emily. Shanaz says any kind of scholarship. Shanaz, yes, I explained two different kinds of scholarship. One is early bird. If you apply before February 29, 5% automatic. Second is up to 10% of merit scholarship. For that, students need to write an essay. Why do they deserve a scholarship on the application portal? They need to have very good academic record and they need to perform extremely well in the interview. Anuj says tuition fees. Tuition fees, Anuj, I already explained. Every program is different. MIM is 15,000 euros per year. MSc is roughly around 17,000 euros for the main year. Shweta says, longest stay back visa in France. You mentioned this in the very beginning. Please explain. Yes, the stay back visa for Indian students in France after graduation is 2 years. The work permit in France for Indian students after graduation is up to 4 years, which is also known as passport talent. And the alumni visa, which was announced by Prime Minister of India last month in France, is 5 years. For all the students who have graduated and now they have become alumni, they can apply for a 5 year business visa. So 5 plus 4 plus 2 is 11. 11 years of visa is the longest visa to stay or work in France for any nationality by any country in the world. Ramya says, how long to get offer letter? Ramya, as soon as the student, takes the interview, within 48 hours to 7 working days, we will declare the results. And within 48 hours of results, students get the offer letter. Ashwini says, is there any interview? Yes, Ashwini, all the programs have a mandatory interview. Usha says, student completed 3 years degree in 8 years. Is it okay? Usha, I do not think it's okay to complete a 3 years degree in 8 years. But of course, you can send me the resume, send me the degree and mark sheet, and we can discuss why this was done in 8 years instead of 3 years. Were there any medical issues? Were there any personal issues? And of course, there has to be a cover letter to explain the same to the school and to the embassy. Because even if, let's say, a university accepts the student, the embassy may reject the visa. So there is no point. So this is why it's very, smart to prepare in advance with the cover letter. Gauri says stay back for bachelor students. Gauri, there is no stay back for bachelor students in France to any university, and this is a law. But as I said, if students get a job directly, of course, they can get the stay back visa. Well, not the stay back visa, the work permit automatically, because if you have a job, you get the work permit. Venuka says, can a student take their family after getting the resident permit? Yes, families can go, but only on a tourist visa. Usha says, is salary statement required if working? No, salary statement is not required. Anjum says, how much tuition fee for bachelor program? Anjum, it's 10,750 euros per year. How much bachelor tuition and deposit? Deposit is 2,000 euro across programs. Anjum says tuition conduct the interview. Yes, that is correct. Bhagya says, can you please explain again about 11 year stay back visa? Sure, it is not the 11-year stay back visa. It's 2 years of stay back, 4 years of work permit, 5 years of alumni business visa. So altogether, 11 years of different sets of visa. Under the first two visas, 2 + 4, 6 years, you can, of course, stay, you can work in France. And for the other 5 years, you can visit France for 90 days with a gap of schooling of 90 days. It's like a tourist visa, which is given to alumni. So the work permit is 4 years, stay back visa is 2 years, altogether 6 years. You can stay and work and live in France. And for the next 5 years, if you come back to India and you're an alumni, you get an alumni visa, you can travel to France or any other Schengen country on a business come tourism purpose. Shelja says, any science related programs in school? Shelja, we are a business school, so most of the programs would be business programs, but we have one program which is called Masters in Data Analytics. So students can apply for data analytics, and most of the people who apply for data analytics have an engineering background. Ramesh says, how many sets of interview? Ramesh, just one interview per student per program. Anuj says, he can do part-time while studying. Yes, all students can do part-time job 20 hours per week as stated by government of France. So student visa allows you to work 20 hours part-time per week. Anjum says how much remaining balance required on enrollment or installment plan available or not. Yes, there is no remaining balance required. You just need to pay the deposit of 2,000 euro. And regarding the installment, students can pay in 6 installments per year. So if a student is going for 1 year program, they can pay in 6 installments. If a student is going for a 4 year program, they can pay in 24 installments. So it depends on the number of years that you're at KEDGE. Every year you can pay in 6 installments. I think this is it. We don't have any questions, Himali, unless you have some.
I think, Prayag, no, everything is sorted now.
All right.
And thank you so much for this wonderful presentation and for all
Perfect.
the information.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Himali. Thank you so much, everyone. Himali, I'm going to share the presentation with you.
Yeah,
And of
please.
course, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Just one information. Applications are already open since September. So if you have any queries, doubts, you can submit the applications. Even if the school resumes operations on Monday and you have some applications today or tomorrow, you can reach out to me. And just apply on time, because if you apply in next 1 to 2 months, all your students would be benefiting from 5% early bird scholarship. A couple of
Sure.
more questions I'll quickly
Yeah,
take.
few
Is
questions.
language mandatory? Yes, English language is mandatory. For MIM and IBBA 3, English test is important. You can take any test, TOEFL, IELTS, or Duolingo. But for MSc programs or IBBA 1, there is no English test required. Medium of instruction letter from college is fine. Aishwarya says, can you please repeat fee payment? It's 2,000 euro, Aishwarya. 2,000 euro is the deposit, around 1.8 lakhs after admission. Dinesh is installment facility for all colleges. Dinesh, this is about KEDGE. So at KEDGE, you have 6 installments per year. All right, so this is it. Thank you so much, everyone. Wishing you a very happy new year. All the best for 2024. And I'm sharing the presentation with Himali right after this. So thank you so much.
Sure, Prayag. Thank you so much. Have a nice
Thank
day.
you. Thank you,
Yeah,
Himali. Thank
thank
you,
you all.
everyone.
Bye bye.